What's up, everybody? This is AORUS99, and today we're taking a new look at the new player experience. As you can see, I've got an account here with no characters, so let's make one and get this party started. Let's see, Caldari are more like your typical, like literally corporations rule everything. GIGABYTE are more of a democracy type government. Minmatar are more tribally based, and the Amar is a monarchy empire with strong religious overtones. So So, as an alpha character, it's kind of have to depend on what you like. But of course, alpha characters are easy to make, so make one of each. See what the feel is. Now, I prefer Caldari, and you can see here some detailed information. We've got the first ships, we've got the Ibis, one of their industrials, the Tyro, which has gotten a reskin, their scouting ship, the Griffin, which is an electronic warfare ship, and the Raven, which is one of the battleships. Let's see. Yep, and the Caldari are all about those missiles. So they tend to use missiles and railguns. They tend to do damage at a distance. And they use shield tanks. So they tend to specialize in resistances and having strength in the shield layer of the ship, which we'll get into in a second. Now the Empire, of course, it shows their imperial enemy, which is the GIGABYTE, who they seceded from about 100 years ago. And then their pirate enemy is the Garistas. So, and this is the same, they'll do a similar thing for all the others as well. But I'm going to go ahead and choose. See, we got a few different body types here. Now, the bloodlines used to actually dictate initial skills, but they don't anymore. Now it's just, you know, what your ethnic appearance is. And now we get to make our dude. Okay. Choose different, you can see eye colors and different pupil width or pupil widths. Put some hair on this dude. And of course you can change your root and primary hair color. which means it's been a while since you dyed your own hair, apparently. A little mohawk action going there. Yeah. Or you can go for the completely unkept look. And of course you can see on the back of the implants to interface with your ship. Please no. Talk about male pattern baldness. Goodness gracious. Then we can change our eyebrows. We've got a few different options here. Then we got facial hair. Let's see. Got a, looks like, yeah, a little discoloration around the eyes. Eyelash thickness, cheek color, lip tone. We got clothes. Okay. Your initial selection is, of course, not that great, but that is kind of to be expected. Yeah. And of course this is literally all just to make a photograph, so it's not, in the long run, it's not really that important. You can go into do tattoos. Now there are some cosmetic items you can get in the store that'll give you more options here. Like on the augmentations, you can actually have a mechanical arm. They'll have sleeve tattoos you can have, things like that. But like I said, it's all for the sake of a picture, so let's see here. Let's get a better background. You can always, of course, do the background for the Caldari state. A few different poses. You can also change the angle of the lighting. As you can see, bring it in from different sides. And to choose a name. Check the availability. Now, of course, this is an on and off account, and it's an alpha, so I'm probably not going to keep it. This is just for purposes of demonstration. And now we should jump right into the new player experience, which has changed quite a bit over the course of E's history. Let's see what they... I'm just going to widen out this overview here. Okay. So you can see our Aura, the AI, has popped up. Okay. We should attempt to rescue them. Okay, there's a lot of wreckage. Can we be more specific? Okay. Click on that. Now we're just going to approach this wreck. As you can see, we're moving toward it very slowly. Closing in. We need to close into within 2,500 meters to be able to get anything off of it. Stop. And we got the overview. As you can see, we've got a circadian seeker. Approach the seeker. Orbit at 500. We'll hit Control, click on it to, that's the keyboard shortcut to lock target. And now we shoot it. As you can see, got the 3 layers: shield, armor, and hull. Now, normally you wouldn't try to take on a ship of this size and a ship this small, but tutorial. Blew up good. Now we'll go ahead and loot this wreck here. They want us to just warp away, but I like loot. As you can see here on the bottom, we've got our 3 layers: shield, armor, and hull. Just loot all. Close that window. Now we've got a
warp drive active.
Industrial station. Well, technically it's a school, but that's beside the point. Over here we've got our chat. We're gonna make it a compact member list so we can just see names. We don't care about photos.
Docking permission requested.
Yay.
Docking request accepted.
go into a tutorial on the agency. Concord is grateful we secured the data. They would like us to continue pursuing this mystery on their behalf. Yeah, they want a know-nothing rookie who's just barely become a capsuleer to investigate something on behalf of Concord. Okay. Select the Seeker's investigation in the agency and then the available mission to find out more information about it. Select Activate to begin. You'll need to undock when you wish to leave your home station and return to space. Okay. So apparently this is the mission chain for the investigation. So, begin the investigation. Long-range scanners confirm the presence of seekers at a strange wreckage site. Clearing them so investigators can move in is your mission. Navigate to your target and destroy it. Okay, seems like a basic strike mission. Need to undock to begin. Of course, the undock button is of course right up here. You have this is the station menu. So any station services that are available to you will be here. If the station has agents to give you missions, they'll be listed here. Of course, this initial school station does not. Any guests within the station will also be listed. This lists every pilot that is docked here. As you can see, there's us. There's other people in my corporation, which is the School of Applied Knowledge. Then up here we have the station services, the access to the market, fitting and altering your ship, using the industrial sectors of the station to build things, which we will likely cover either later on in this mission arc or in the industrial mission arcs. Industry is a valid career in EVE. It's not all about pew-pew because, well, everything except these little corvettes, every other ship besides these little chintzy corvettes and some mission rewards is all generated by players. Let's see, then we have factional warfare, which we'll get into later. Ship insurance. This comes in handy. Of course, you can insure the rookie ship, the corvettes, or as we like to call it, the old-timers like to call them noob ships. You can't insure them because you get them for free. All you have to do to get one is dock at a station in a station in which you have no ships, and you'll get a rookie ship for free. So you'll always have your rookie ships to fall back on, even if someone does blow up something nice that you own. Loyalty point store. That's for advanced mission running, which I'll cover later. The reprocessing plant. This allows you to scrap items, like for example the metal scraps that I salvaged from that Circadian Seeker. I would just drag and drop in here. It would cost me a little bit of money, but I would get 500 units of tritanium, which is a mineral for industry. So that's what that's for. Ship repairs. Your shield layer will regenerate naturally. However, your armor and structure will not, and you will need to repair them either with a module mounted to your ship or through a repair service. Or if you find a friendly player-built station, a citadel, that you can hook up to, you can repair your armor and structure for free. And then we have the clone bay, which dictates if you are killed, if your escape pod that lies within this ship is destroyed, you will return to the designated medical clone station, which in my case is this station, because this is where every character starts. And then we have customization, which is the character creation process I went through earlier. So that covers it for the station services. We have a mission. Then it is time to begin. Okay. We can change, cover a few of these other buttons real quick. Of course, we have camera views, tactical camera, which is what I prefer. We have a cargo bay, or holds and bays. So this will go over your cargo bay and pull up your inventory. We have the tactical overlay, which of course you can see the arrow tells your direction. This is the range of your range of everything. Just puts out a nice little overlay. As you highlight over a weapon, you can see its range. As you can see, our optimal range with our gun is 5.2 kilometers. Our fall off is 7.3. You want to stay as close to your optimal range as possible. And anything beyond your fallout range, you'll be lucky if you hit them at all. And if you do hit them, you won't do much damage. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And of course you have autopilot. We'll cover this later when we actually move from star system to star system, but don't use it. Then we have scanners. This will access more for exploration type interfaces, and we'll cover that when we cover exploration. And of course we have our modules. These are the modules we get by default. We have a chintzy little Gatling railgun, which we use to destroy that seeker. We have a chintzy little mining laser, which we can use to mine rocks. And we have a little afterburner that makes us go faster. We have our shield, armor, and hull, as I mentioned earlier. And we have our capacitor. Certain modules take energy to operate. For example, the Gatling rail and the afterburner. So when you're in combat, it's important to keep an eye on your capacitor. And of course we have our ship speed. Down here we have an options menu. We can do a few different things. Display readout as percentage. Now we can see the exact amount of shield, armor, and hull that we have, which is very, very nice. Over here on the side we have the agency mission pop up. You can begin the
warp drive active.
We will begin our investigation. So you just click on that, it'll warp you to the location. Turn off the overlay. Whee! Got a little nice warp tunnel effect. Okay. We have a sleeper enclave, and we've got bad guys. So we're going to approach. Remember, our optimal range is 5 kilometers. Ooh, and they're shooting at us. They really don't like us. So we're going to double click in space. We're going to angle away from them. We don't want to go straight towards them. Just keep viewing. You can see we're starting getting out of optimal, so we're starting to miss. So we got to get a little closer. Start wearing these guys down. Now, part of what makes it hard, what makes it difficult for you to hit and be hit, is speed of the target and whether they're moving away from you or perpendicular to you. I'm gonna get a little pre-fire on these seekers. Go ahead and start approaching one of the ships to loot cargo. Metal scraps. Metal scraps for days. A lot of your low-level loot's going to be metal scraps, but it's easy to get and it's cheap. It's cheap, easy money. People will buy metal scraps, mainly because they can turn it into, they can more efficiently turn it into titanium than a new player can. Okay, now we need to go back into the agency. We need to...
Skill training completed.
Okay. Looks like I was awarded a skill training point. Normally you have to train these skills, but apparently they'll train them for you. Okay, looks like another smash and grab.
Warp drive active.
Looks like we're going to be clearing more sleeper enclaves. Now you notice it also said in the notifications redeeming over here. I've got a recording control panel in the way here. New redeemable items available. As you can see, I was given a skill book. Okay. One seeker retainer and then an intact sleeper enclave. Interesting. Normally you only find these in wormhole space, which is very dangerous. The sleepers are a very ancient race, and they are very dangerous. But these seekers have apparently been tracking down the enclaves that no one knew were there. So we're gonna keep shooting at this guy, barely doing any damage because we're too far away. Missing, as you can see, every now and then, or 3 times in a row. Wear this guy down. Notice this one's not as big as the others. See, he only had a small triangle where these other ones are big triangles. Pop on the afterburner, try and close the distance quicker because these guys can't hit me from that range. You can see they have a little bounty, all these little NPCs. Concord is paying us to destroy them. One thing you gotta do, always stay mobile when you're fighting. Don't stand still, because it makes you easier to hit. Not that these guys will have any problems hitting me, but when you're fighting a real player, you never want to stay still. And there's even more. The fun never stops. And this is typically how it happens, you know, enemies will come into missions in waves, and you have to fight them off. So you have to have the endurance to take out your enemies before they take out you. As you can see, my shields are starting to show a bit of wear. These things blow up real nice. Pulse the afterburner, move towards our new opponent, because he's just sitting there at range. Of course, I'm just sitting here letting this run because civilian weapons do not use ammunition. However, once we get a more powerful ship, we'll need to mount more powerful modules, and those do use ammunition. Oh boy. Another big one. Secret Guardian. This guy's, yeah, he's got a lot of health. He's a big boy. We'll lock the camera on him. As you can see, he's the scoring here. He's taking armor damage. So he's starting to show the pain here. And boom! Very, very nice. Now this is with the graphics settings on a pretty high settings because I've got a very high-end computer. So if you don't see all the explicit detail, that's fine. It is what it is. In fact, in some of the larger fleet actions in the game, they actually suggest you turn your graphics settings all the way down to practically nothing. So that works. Okay, new task. Okay, we got 50,000 ISK. Recover data points to a cloud formation as the site of a hidden sleeper enclave. Go there and scout it out for us. If there are seekers, destroy them. Okay.
Warp drive active.
And you see these little icons. These are items you'll find in the discovery scanner. The sensor overlay just lets you know that they exist. Some of them can be warped to pretty easily. Some of them you have to actually use probes to determine their actual location. Someone did destroy this sleeper enclave, unfortunately. So, back to the grind. As you can see, they're using missiles on me. I'm just going for this this small triangle with a chevron here that indicates that it's a destroyer. So it's not as big as these other seekers, which are actually considered cruisers. So it should be easier to take down. And sometimes that's the name of the game, is getting as much enemy DPS off the battlefield as quickly as possible. Because in this rookie ship, these guys are more than capable of piling on the damage if you're not careful. Now this is kind of dumbed down because it's the tutorial, but if you actually start running missions, you'll see what I mean. Bounced off the sleeper enclave, and we're still bouncing off the sleeper enclave, so double click away to get him to stop colliding with the structure. And more friends. Just as before, we're taking out the... This takes the closest one first, but that's fine. As you can see, the shields are really starting to take a pounding now. Down to 47%. These guys are leaving loot, which is nice. And of course, ride never ends. Now, besides the loot, which would probably just all be metal scraps, you do get more. You get more bounties, and you do get a mission reward for it. So, even if it doesn't seem relevant, you know, you can still there's still something to be gained, plus, you know, experience is experience. Hey, we're finally done. we're just going to loot the field here while we wait for our shields to regenerate. That's interesting. It says nothing found, even though it clearly the icon clearly indicates there's something in there. Okay. Yay, metal scraps. Yay, metal scraps. I'm not, like I said, I'm not in too big a hurry just because I want my shields to regenerate. Just scoop up our meager metal scraps. And we're going to collide with the structure again. But yeah, like I said, these sleeper enclaves, typically you would find these exploring in wormhole space, and they were guarded by sleeper drones, and they were very, very dangerous. You had to be a fairly good skilled player with a fleet to be able to tackle those sites. Yay, metal scraps. I still want to figure out what's going on with this other item here. But bump off the structure again. But basically the sleepers are called the sleepers because they're basically a race that basically implanted themselves digitally into a computer mainframe called the construct. And these facilities housed, parts of that supercomputer and the sleepers' physical bodies, which had basically atrophied away to nothing because they'd been in the computer program for thousands of years. But for Capsuleers, they could go around and they could salvage, bits of the sleeper installations and the drones themselves, and they could use that to make advanced ships. Because sleeper technology was way ahead of anything anyone else had. That's still registering as a bug. Got most of our shields back, so we'll do something for the... Actually, we need to dock in the station, don't we? So, we're going to go ahead and dock up.
Warp drive active.
Just click on the square. As you can see here, a square icon always indicates an NPC station. Docking will refill the rest of our shields and allow us to redeem those 2 skill books we got earlier so that we can cover the basics of the skill system.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, safe and sound. Now, as you can see, we got 50,000 ISK for doing that second operation. Then we picked up some stuff in the activity tracker. They actually just added this into the system here. You'll need Now it's just for bragging rights, but everyone is started at a base level. So as you can see, we'll move up as we destroy more NPC ships. We'll gain more in this area. As we collect more bounties, we'll get more on this side. And then we have, now we have non-capsuleer and capsuleer. As capsuleer combat is, of course, PvP, fighting other players, which we are in no condition to do. And then, of course, it moves on to the other aspects of the game. So it helps to show exactly just what you can do and help you find something to do. Now, we have those 2 skill books we need to redeem. So we have to be docked in a station. We select these things, redeem. They'll be redeemed here. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes, we are. Go into our inventory, and there, as you can see them there in our item hanger. We'll liberate our metal stacks, stack all to put them all in one nice pile. Now we have 2 skill books. We have the Caldari frigate skill book, which you can just right click, inject skill, and then we have small hybrid turret, inject skill. Now, this is the skills interface. You start off with, as you can see, 403,000 skill points. Now that, in the grand scheme of things, that is not significant. My highest ranking main character has over 108 million skill points, and I know people who have well over 300 million skill points. But everyone starts at somewhere. So we take our Caldari frigate skill. We're going to click and drag it to the bottom here, and it's going to start training. It's going to take 33 minutes. Then we need to go, as you can see, we've got various categories here. We'll go into gunnery, and then we'll find small hybrid turret. We'll drag and drop that in there. That'll take 16 minutes. Now this is an alpha account, so as you can see by the yellow, a lot of skills are not available, and you can only naturally train up to 5 million skill points as an alpha, but alphas don't pay a subscription. They are completely free to play. You can get these little alpha injectors from the store that will give you 50,000 skill points, but you can only use 1 a day, and you can either buy those off the Nest store, or you can get them off the market. As you can see here, the current estimated price is 57 million ISK. So it takes a lot of money when you're talking about free skill points. As you can see, the ISK balance changed. We have our base 5,000 ISK that we get as a start, our bounties, our agency bonus, and then we just got more bounties for corporation tax. Unfortunately, any mission reward over, I want to say over 100,000 ISK, will be subject to tax. And if you're in one of the school or NPC corporations, that tax is at 11%. You can join a player corporation and that tax could be as low as 0. I have an alt corp in all of my, and that's all set to 0 for me, but because this is an alpha, I wanted to give you as close to the genuine experience as you'll get if you decide to play the game. Alright, so we got those skills training. Of course, we got the notifications that these skills have been injected and they're now training. So let's say we choose another mission. Well, we got another 50,000 ISK reward. Fortress in the Rocks. With the new data we recovered thanks to your efforts, we have pinpointed a mined-out rock formation that is the location of a sleeper enclave. We want you to take out its perimeter defenses. Gain experience with using weapon range. Activate. So, we undock. And of course, we click warp to location.
Warp drive active.
It'll align to the location. And warp us to it. We are not actually heading for that green diamond. As you can see, we're passing it by. As you can see, our closest target is 8 kilometers away. As you can see, our optimal range is 5.8. Flying to optimal range, then lock fire on your primary weapon systems. So we need to keep at range. Keep at range 5 kilometers. Now the sleepers do employ sentry guns in... Ow. That thing hurts a lot. Sentry guns can be pretty nasty, especially sleeper sentry guns, but keeping our distance here, we're pretty safe. As you can see, the next one's 19 kilometers away. We can actually lock it, which is surprising. Some ships only have a certain amount of targeting range because of their electronics, and they can only lock a certain number of targets. There are skills that increase there's also a limit on how many ships you can mentally control targeting. Because I think we have a couple points in the targeting skill, we can target 3 ships simultaneously. And we'll do the same, keep a range, 5K. We'll knock our speed down so we don't overshoot by much. And let them have it. Looks like we're still with... No. See, it tried to shoot at us, but the missile actually fell short. That's another reason to take advantage of range, because weapons may have a limited range. Okay, forward to the next... Let's start skill training to acquire the skills you need for the next ship. So we gotta go dock at the
Warp
station.
drive active.
And this is just going to cover what I already covered. So I sped up because I wanted to take, it's going to take 45 minutes to get these skills in. So as you can see, there's a few things floating around here, which I'll cover next time we undock.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now, this is basically covering what we already covered. So, okay. Do more missions, they say.
Skill training completed.
Okay, we got a skill points in social. You can see skill gifted. Social is a skill that affects standing. As you do missions for agents, you increase your reputation with them, and social allows you to do that faster. Let's see. Next mission. Abandoned colony.
Warp drive active.
Now I do like, there's one thing about you see the arc, the missions that break off on the sides of these main missions. It's just basically a rehash of the first one. It may seem redundant, but Eve is very unforgiving, and it's always best to ensure that you know what's going on. So normally you would do the mission once, and there wouldn't be a way to redo them. But with this, you actually get a way to repeat training, which can come in handy. Because let's face it, not everyone learns something the first time. Sometimes you have to do it multiple times. Plus, like I said earlier, it's more bounties. And we can always use more bounties, because more bounties is more ISK. And ISK is what makes Eve go round. Now, once we get a proper ship with proper weaponry, you won't see me spamming like I am here, where I activate it when I know it's going to miss. Okay, they're on this side of the rock formation. I was wondering if I was going to have to go around. Because you can, like I said, you collide with stuff and it can really take out your mojo. Explosions. Looks like everyone's staying on this side of the formation. Looking at those explosions never gets old. They didn't used to be nearly as detailed as they are now. And boom. No loot, but one more glorious explosion. Okay. Time to do more tasks. And another 50,000 ISK.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, if you ever minimize this by mistake, you can just go right up here. Bring it back. Like I did by double clicking on it, apparently. Ruh-roh, Raggy. A circadian sniper, huh? Well, I hate to tell you, buddy, I got an afterburner. You ain't gonna be running away from me. Putts. Now you did see this cluster shutdown alert initiated. Every day the game goes to do downtime at 11 o'clock Eve time, which is I believe UTC. because of course the game's developers are in Iceland and the data center's in London. So we've got an hour before the cluster shuts down. You'll get warnings at 1 hour till 10 minutes, 5 minutes, half hour, and then after the 5 minutes you'll get a timer ticking down. Basically it's it's at that point you need to dock up. More money! Measuring the threat. We've accumulated data and our latest scanner results point to an attempt to build a new sleeper enclave network here in Empire Space. What? Because you knew about the other ones the whole time, huh? Larger vessels are not always more effective in ship-to-ship combat. The smaller a ship is, the more difficult it will be for turrets to track it. Warp to the site, button info panel, lock the hostile and destroy it.
Warp drive active.
This is kind of a reiteration on what we just did. The Circadian sniper had long-range weaponry, and that tends to be where they're most effective. But as we ran him down, his weapons were very ineffective against us, of course, because tutorial, but typically opponents that engage in have long-range weaponry, if you can run under them and get very, very close to them, their weapons will not be able to hit you. Because this is a cruiser, that's one of, as you get closer to an enemy, especially a ship that's bigger than you, it's going to be harder for him to lock onto you and to track you, because his weapons are meant to fight against vessels his size or higher. So medium-sized weapons that you would find on a cruiser typically aren't effective against little fast frigates like this one. Scraps. Now this little guy is a frigate, so he's going to have no problems hitting us, because his weapons are actually designed to fight things my size. Unfortunately for him, my weapons are also designed to fight things his size. Another thing to consider, as you can see, I'm still missing because I'm going too fast. Your speed will also affect your tracking. So, just as you can see, as we open the distance, tracking becomes better, and we're starting to score more consistent hits on him. But any time like we did that turn, we did get a miss because we were turning.
Skill training completed.
As you can see, we've got target management level 3. That means with that gift of a skill, we can now lock, I want to say up to 5 targets, because you get 2 for free. location we think the seekers are using to store materials. Want you to rate it. Sure. I think it's funny how we have this massive army for the Caldari state and all these dudes with conclave, yet they've got some schmuck in a jalopy, you know, making direct assaults against sleeper installations. It's like, no. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. That's like sending an 8-year-old with a slingshot against a fortified position staffed by elite military special forces. It's like, no. Okay, lots of little guys. We'll take out the eluder first, because he is the biggest threat. Well, he's not the biggest threat, but he's the one that can track us the most easily. Ooh, seeker upholders. Those are that big triangle like that. That's a battleship. Okay. This one's going to be interesting. So let's... Oh yeah, you can see they're starting to, with this many guys, they're starting to really put the sheen on the shields. That's orbit, 2.5 kilometers. Get that micro warp drive on, get some speed going, or the AB on. Keep our distance. We should be able to take these guys out pretty quick. And if we stay mobile, we'll get a little bit of shielding from the damage. But as you can see, those battleships pack a punch. That's why we got to get rid of these frigates and cruisers. We get as much DPS off this field as possible. I can only lock 3. Because that's the limit on the IBIS. You can see we're doing a lot better now with the cruisers. That little frigate was quite the annoyance. Alright, low shield warning. Not good. But we're taking DPS off the field now, and that's all that matters. Just hope they don't drop like too much more at one time. They start going for the those battleships now. As you can see, the DPS has gone down significantly. These are such big ships, it's not going to be too hard to track these. I like how the damage you see, it actually shows where it's hitting. Okay.
Warp drive active.
Alright, we're gonna warp back to the school real quick, get some shield regenerated. Yeah, that one caused quite the wallop.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
We're going to immediately undock, since all we came here for was to regenerate the shields. Alright, we'll cover what's around the station real quick. As you can see, these green ships, these are actually people in my corp. You can see that they're little ibis like me. That's why they've got the little bitty chevron. We have these little blue icons here. These are Sentry Guns. You'll see these posted at every Stargate and every station in HiSec. If someone does something dumb and shoots you, for example, the Sentry Guns will open up on them. You have these blue ships here. These are Concorde. This is the Space Police. If anyone shoots you in HiSec, they will respond and blow them up. They won't always protect you, but they will guarantee that whoever did shoot at you will lose their ship. No questions asked. There is no way to evade Concorde. In fact, evading Concorde is considered an exploit. So the person will get banned. So yeah, most people who do attack people in HiSec, they do it for a living. They know they're going to do so, you know, and they're going to lose their ship, so they're going to make sure that they're going to make sure you're worth it. So be careful about hauling lots of valuable things in high security space, because if it's worth more than what his ship's worth, the person might take a pot shot at you. And then we have these white ships. These are the Caldari Navy ships. These guys will typically attack anyone who's has super low standing with the Caldari state, or is a member of an enemy militia from faction warfare. But yeah, typically they aren't much of a threat. Occasionally they will scan ships for contraband. Certain items are not permitted within the empires, but I think they've done away with those rules in the intervening years. But just be careful. If you see something with a skull in its item icon, that means it's typically contraband. But back to the missions, because we've got about 15-16 more minutes. Money! Secret laboratory. Strange emissions from a cloud formation lead us to believe a secret research facility is hidden there. We also detect secret signals. Scout it, but be careful.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, it's like you've only spearheaded assaults that should have been done by the Navy in Concord for like the past hour, but we're telling you to be careful now. Okay.
Skill training completed.
Yay! Now they're orbiting at different distances, but we'll use the afterburner to run them down. Because they're going to try and orbit and kite away. Our job is to quickly close range. Because they're trying to leverage a range advantage. So what we have to do is basically run them down so they can't use that advantage against us, because as you can see, they're doing quite a bit of damage. You know, we've only been in the battle 30 seconds, we've already lost, you know, a third of our shields. So we gotta run these guys down. He's like, haha, I'm running away. I'm like, haha, no you ain't. So we'll take out this guy, that should be it. Nicely done. Please select the new task. Money! A spatial rift has been detected by our scanners. Investigate its origin and return back to us swiftly. Beware of gravitational anomaly and maintain your speed at all times. Using your afterburner to increase ship speed. Well, too late.
Warp drive active.
Okay, it sounds like in this one, speed's the name of the game. Okay. Spatial rift. Yeah. The sleepers were very good at, you know, spatial dynamics. That was part of the reason they chose to live in the wormholes. Of course, we're going to run this guy down. He's in our optimal. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. With my little slingshot and harsh language. I'm gonna get you. Okay, time to upgrade the ship. Dock at the next station.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Now keep in mind, I started these skill trainings before the system told me to, and they're still technically not done yet.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Once you have docked, open the agency and click on Sleeker Investigation to select and activate the next mission.
Skill training completed.
Long-range targeting, level 2, a rift in space. Redeemable items available. Woo! Yes! Okay. So we finally got a... Aww. But I'll have to wait. Got a Merlin. Yay!
Warp drive active.
Okay, radiation hazard reported. Speed will be essential. There are some areas in space that will actually do damage over time if they've got these kind of hazards. Speed is of the essence. I'm only doing these extra because I gotta burn more time for the mission to contain itself. Okay, we've got to close in and destroy the wreckage before the radiation destroys us. Okay, it looks like the wreckage of a sleeper installation. Yeah, because there's the arms, and then the wreckage itself, you can look at it. As you can see, it's the central disk of a sleeper enclave. Stupid sisters. Messing with shit they don't understand. As you can see, we're taking significant damage from this radiation field. And we are not even in... We're in targeting range now, but we're well out of range for the weaponry. Keep it range, 5K. Quickly destroy this wreckage because we're already down to half hull or half shield.
Warp drive active.
that blew up real nice. But I'm not interested in taking any more radiation damage. So we just warped here to warp here. We're not going to dock. Not yet. We still got 6 minutes. Money! The chase. More secrets are detected sniffing around it. Mining colony.
Warp drive active.
Secrets out here will detect the warp drive spooling up. The warp signatures are erratic. They'll warp away in approximately 5 minutes. Chase them down, Captain. Okay. So they're going to warp 5 minutes to warp away. Good God. I've seen the largest ships in the game warp away faster than that. That must be borked somehow. Either way. Gotta chase them down. I will cover the one thing you can do. As you can see, there's a green little tab here. If you turn on that, you can overload your propulsion module, and that will allow you to get somewhere faster. As you can see, it boosted our speed considerably. But as you can see, that little red tick, you can actually damage these modules. So you want to be mindful of that. And as you can see, the heat build up here. You can train it to thermodynamics, and you can reduce the amount of heat damage your modules take. It's kind of like overclocking your CPU or your GPU. You know, you run the risk of heat damage if you mess with things too much. Looks like I'll have plenty of time to destroy all three. Metal scraps for the metal scrap god. Yay, new task. money. Good all. Upgrades. We decided to reward you for efforts so far. A new ship and upgraded weapons are being made available. We hope you find them useful, particularly in the coming tasks. Use fitting to equip a new ship. Okay.
Warp drive active.
Now we get to upgrade our ship in 1 minute and 55 seconds. Clear out our notification feed. Now, not all ships are meant for combat. Of course, you know, the industrial ship, of course, it's meant for hauling things. It's not for fighting. The scouting ships, like the Heron, are meant for scouting and exploration, not for fighting. The Merlin we got, however, is meant for fighting, thankfully.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, this just goes through all the... See, we can close our and bring her back. Okay. As you can see, we got two 125mm railgun ones, and we got 600 iron charges. There are different types of weapon charges, and of course these are hybrid turret charges because that's what we're using. Iron is more of a long-range charge, so I prefer using stuff like antimatter, but yeah. We got our Merlin that they gave us.
Skill training completed.
And now that the skill's completed, we can... First we'll assemble the ship, because it comes repackaged, which is easier to transport. We'll right-click, we'll choose Make Active. Ta-da! Our new Merlin. We'll go into ship fitting. And here's our fitting arrays for our lovely new ship. Now we need to put the railguns up here.
Skill training completed.
Gifted a signature analysis skill, which lets us lock targets faster. We'll put the ammo here in the cargo hold. As you can see, we've got extra modules here for medium power slots. This is where your like afterburners would go. It's also where you would put any kind of modules to upgrade your shields. Your low slots are going to be typically for things like armor improvement or damage amplification modules. You can put those down there. Okay. We got that done. Okay. Battle in the ruins. This is an alert situation report of attack on an SOE research station by seekers. We think they've been searching for the station all along. Go there, remove the seeker threat. So they've been looking all over the system for this one place.
Drive active.
We're going to right click, we're going to load in our hybrid charges. As you can see, we carry 80 rounds. And our optimal range is increased considerably. Now this is long range ammo. It doesn't do as much damage as close range ammo. And you notice our turret tracking score went way down. But we are definitely doing more damage than we were with the... We're still missing that one because it's targeted the wrong one first. See, we're doing much more damage than we were with the other. See, it also takes longer to lock targets because it was a different size ship. No, we didn't bring the micro warp drivers. We didn't bring the afterburner with us. We didn't take it off the other ship, so we're just gonna have to slow boat to this guy. As you can see, optimal 15, fall off 21. So we're not going to waste any ammo shooting at this guy. We're going to reload, however, while we're waiting. And then we're going to group the weapons together here. As you can see here, we've also got a bigger capacitor. We've got a lot more shield armor and hull. That's why it's important to upgrade from the rookie ships, because you're much more capable with the ships. Also, you can see here, as you increase your Caldari frigate skill, you get bonuses to damage and to shield resistances, which will makes you a tougher ship. This guy's finally close enough, we can start laying into him. As you can see, we're packing a wallop on this guy. Closer. As you can see, we're getting some good shots in now. And because we're in a more advanced ship, we can actually lock more targets at the same time. Have to ease on over there. We still move faster than the noob ship, but not as good as it would be with an afterburner. Getting close. Start laying into these guys. next target. So we're doing pretty good damage.
Skill training completed.
Bye-bye. So now we gotta go pick up all our glorious loot. Reload our iron charges. See, we had because we have substantially more shields, we were much better able to weather that assault. Ooh, civilian afterburner, another one. That's why you always loot wrecks, even if you only think you'll get metal scraps. More civilian afterburners. Now the civilian afterburners are not, of course, the best. The civilian stuff kind of sucks, but they don't have a skill requirement, so they're handy for new players to get some basic stuff done. Plus, if nothing else, they're worth a little bit of money. Now, oh, 15 minutes to shut down. This time, however, we are going to dock up.
Warp drive active.
Another thing to note about this new Merlin is that it warps faster. Rookie ships can only warp at 3 astronomical units a second, but the Merlin can warp at 5.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now, we're going to do quickly, we're going to fit, we're going to right click one of the afterburners and fit it to the ship, move the rest over, undock. Now, agency. The Dreaming Stones. Activate. Warp 2.
Warp drive active.
We're going to have to make this quick because it's only 15 minutes till downtime, so I'm going to try and knock out these remaining 2 missions, and then we'll see what these individual arcs are in the next videos. I suspect there are guides to the career missions, but we'll see. Ooh, you are right in range. I appreciate that. Stand still that I might skewer thee. Three-shot at him. Very nice. Ooh. More fun guys. That's fine. Plenty of firepower to go around. Because we have the range advantage, we're gonna shoot him face away. Yeah, even these little sleeper battleships aren't doing too hot against these guns. See, almost 550 kilometers per hour with the afterburner. It makes a lot of difference. Even with weak long-range ammo, these guys are just falling to pieces. If I was using antimatter, it would be even faster, but I'd have to get a lot closer. Money! Madness or genius. Within a renegade faction sister, these were running experiments to disrupt the Seekers, go to their transmission site and stop them before the Seekers become more dangerous.
Warp drive active.
Okay, let's reload. Oh, great. More Circadian Seekers. Surprise, surprise. Okay, time to muscle in there. Now, these are just cruisers, so it looks like they'll fall fairly quickly. The cruisers in the other side certainly did. It's just a matter of getting in range. And we can lock 5. Okay, you see we got an acceleration gate, so they're guarding this gate. Miss. So these things can do up to 25 HP of damage when they get the critical hits. Go ahead and approach the acceleration gate in anticipation of taking these guys out pretty quick. Plus, we don't want to get too close. If they get too close, we'll start missing. Or we'll get little grazes like that, which means more ammo used. Boom. Okay. Hold left click on the gate. Choose activate gate.
Warp drive active.
Reload. Okay. Time to start kiting. As you can see, we came in very close to our enemies. We need to get a little more distance. Pop the afterburner. We're going to kite away. As you can see, they're all kind of laying into us. But by keeping our enemies at a distance, we're able to get better optimal range on our weaponry. And we're going to go for the cruisers first because they're easiest to hit. Back in, since we now have the range advantage again. .23, got a smashing hit on that one. Nice. 5 minutes of downtime. Come on. As you can see, the cluster shutdown indicator's coming back up. Come on, come on. Racing against the clock here. Turn on overload for one cycle. Okay, we're overloaded. As you can see, we added almost 100 meters per second to our roll. We're well within range now, so gotta pop these guys quick. Boom. Yay, we're done.
Warp drive active.
Reload. Now we got lucky. Doesn't look like we damaged our afterburner this time. It won't affect its efficiency, of course, until it's destroyed. Then, of course, you have to repair it. But we just need to get in to a station before downtime.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Yay! More money. Okay. As you can see, cluster shut down. Now, as you can see here, you've got 4 more additional tasks. And these are handoffs to the career agents. As you can see, the 4 path agents here. But I think this video is long enough, and well, the cluster is going to shut down in 2 minutes anyway. So we will handle those in our next video. But let's review our winnings so far. Congratulations, boys, we're millionaires. We are millionaires. So that's not bad. It's, you know, a million ISK, a Merlin with a couple guns. We got some afterburners for our ships, which we can always, of course, sell or anything. So I'd say we did pretty good. But we'll keep this series going, and we'll go on in the next video. But for now, I'm Urging on 99, and I will see you guys next time.